Hey guys, alright, Brett from IBMA. Been meaning to get some extra training in today. So I thought we'd do iron bridge training with stone lock style. Yeah. So this is like striking. So traditionally in Shaolin Kung Fu and in old style martial arts, and Okinawan karate as well, you use a stone lock to do strikes. It's a very old thing. It's very traditional, like in Shaolin Kung Fu and Okinawan styles, as I said. But stone locks are kind of hard to come by. So one thing I like to use, and we'll do some sets, and I've also posted this up, hopefully for the guys on Patreon to see first or have a watch of. So I like to use a pair of these fat grips on a normal dumbbell. So yeah, hi to any of the guys on Patreon who've followed along on this. So anyway, yeah, so we're going to do a bit of a set. I want to get a training set done of these old style traditional striking method. Obviously I don't have stone locks. It'd be awesome if I did, because there's other things you can do with them. I'll show you that because I do have a kettlebell, but it's a little bit heavy. So this is light. We've only got 5 kilos in weight on here, and with the little handlebar or whatever, it's maybe 6 or 7 kilos or whatever. So it's pretty light, but the real key to it is the fat grip. Yeah, because the fat grips make it real good. Yeah, and sometimes I like training with 2 and sometimes I like training with 1. Yeah, so the fat grip gives you something to squeeze onto. Yeah, the reason I like training with 1, well, really as well as my other one's gone, but the reason I like training with 1 is because you can get your other hand correct. So I'll put this down and we'll start training here. Okay, now it's pretty traditional in Shaolin Kung Fu that you don't, when you initially start, you don't move the body to strike. I don't like that as much, but we'll do it anyway. So let's get a set of these going. So I'm going to do some strike forwards. Yeah, and I like to lock the body down. You know, I like to make, even with these, whereas I guess good form would be to strike right out here and hold it in. Yeah. So you can do some with some good form. Yeah, and feel it coming off the lats here. Strike it forward. Strike it forward. Strike it forward. Strike it forward. And also I like to feel it pushing from the palm. Strike it forward. Strike it forward. Strike it forward. Strike it forward. Yeah, and then change. So those are with real strict form, I suppose you'd say. Yeah, a few more. Yeah, change around. Usually I actually like to do them. I like to make it a bit more realistic. So rather than really focusing on doing it by the book repetitions, I like to lock myself down a bit. Yeah, and if I'm doing these front punches, I like to punch it because they say you fight how you train. Yeah, so although technically by the book you can throw them perfectly straight, and that's really developing the arm power. That's great, but it's not working as great on the connectivity. Yeah, so for connectivity, I like to lock everything down. You know, almost like that hourglass stance. Lock it down, lock everything in, and rather than using a very traditional, almost Shaolin-esque practice as you do, I like to lock everything down and just throw it with a bit more connectivity. Yeah. The difference is you're just, yeah, I suppose you just bring it into you a little bit more. Yeah. So let's do a few more. Focusing on that strike. few slow ones. A few slow ones. So yeah, I like to always mix things up. Yeah? Cool. Alright. We'll give ourselves a bit of a rest from that with some active recovery. Yeah? So we're coming down. We're just working that. Down here. Yep. Yep. On the outside. Good for the shoulder muscles. Again, don't use too heavy a weight. And it's not magic. There we go, I was doing it wrong for a second. Yep. Okay, let's hit some ones forward. Yeah, so again, I'm doing maybe like an hourglass stance with these. Let's do some forward. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's check. 1, I'll turn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn it up. And again. Stop. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. Still adjust our breathing. Adjusted. So breathing in through the nose. We're taking in the dantian, the lower abdomen, and we're breathing out. Circular like this, yeah? Just to adjust our breathing. Cool. Now I'll accelerate this slightly because usually in between I'll be like taking rests or whatever. Small breathing rests, but we'll just go on to the next thing. I'm sure there can't be too many questions about this sort of activity, but if there are, or any other questions about anything, just chuck them on the bottom there. Alrighty, so we're gonna go for an uppercut type motion now. Yeah. So, but what I'm focusing on here is we're just focusing on this connected upward strike. Yeah, just because remember the reason we're doing this training, this weighted training, is to build the body, the tendons, the striking muscles. Yeah, we don't want to put too much into it. We're going to cause ourselves an injury. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. Catch my trousers. Better to do this in gi pants. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I find it's good training with a weighted implement makes you, like I was saying before, makes you keep the weight into yourself. Yeah, keep those elbows in as well. And you see that as a core principle a lot in Okinawan styles, yeah? Again, we're going to do 3 now. So we've done the straight punch, boom. Yeah, we've done forward. Yeah, and we've done an uppercut. Yeah, so we're going to do 3 now for the next one. Yeah, so we're going to do straight punch, forward, uppercut. Yeah, uppercut, straight punch. Doesn't matter how you do them. You can mix it up, doesn't matter. Yep. Yep. And again, play around yourself with standing in horse stance. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, standing in horse stance or standing in front stance, reverse stance, however you want to do it. Yeah, it's up to you. You play with it. That's the whole point. All right? All righty. Let's do some active recovery again on the shoulders. Okay, let's do some slow circles now with the breath. Yep, change. Yep. Yep. Now again, you can work on your connectivity. So what I like doing is, instead of doing that movement with the arm, which you can, yeah, so you need to practice both. It's up to you, but I like to practice it with the arm, yeah, and then also with the body, yeah, because the body, yeah, yeah. The body is where your connectivity in your own body, that's where your power comes from, yeah? So it's kind of, it makes sense, but it's a good way to use weighted training. Like I was trying to say at the beginning, if you're just, when you do your weighted punching, if you're just punching like you, I don't know, you've seen or you were told, and you have to do it in a very specific way, and you're not then applying it to your natural, normal movements, then it'll only develop a little bit of the strength and power, and you want that real connectivity. So in other words, what I mean is you want 3D power, yeah? So you don't just want power straight, you want it in every direction, yeah? And that's where the connectivity comes in, yeah? Because that is different to that, yeah? But it's up to you to practice both. Yeah? Yep. I suppose it's like Western bodybuilding, yeah? If you isolate, you will just build that certain muscle, and that's why, you know, you may see the stone lock hits just straight like this, or just straight however, but if you look at a lot of stone lock work, traditionally it's not really an isolatory exercise. There's a lot of swinging going on, which I can't do because I've got only one, but you get what I mean. All right, take it up to here. We'll put our hand on this pressure point in the center here. Yep, change around. Hand on the pressure point in the center. So what have we done now? We've done single strikes, we've done sideways strikes, yeah, and we've done upward strikes too. So that's an example of set. Then we've linked them all together. So we've done boom, 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 yeah. We've done those like so, yeah. And then we've been relaxing or active recovery with shoulder swings, yeah, like so. Again, this is locked in a very certain way, isn't it? You know, you got to be careful not to damage your shoulder. Yeah, bring it down. Now, again, as we were doing, we'll focus on some of the slow movements. And again, this is what you need to bring into your training, I'm sure you guys know, is if you're going to do the weighted punch training, you need to do fast strike weighted punch training, then you have to do time under tension weighted punch training. So as we were doing there, fast strike is pushing the weight out from here, front, middle, uppercut moment, yeah, yeah, and then also the slow stuff, yeah. So as we were doing there, where you're yeah, and that's just that's mimicking a aided guard, parry, barai, or whatever you want to call it, on the outside. And then I was saying as well as doing that just with your arms, or breathe. Yeah, as well as doing that with your arms, you then want to put linkage into it with your body. Yeah? Yeah? And just breathe. In whatever way you're comfortable with breathing. Yeah, and for those who just tuned in, this is only like a 6 or 7 kilo altogether weight. We've got 2.5 kilos, so that's 5 kilo plus a little bar, makes it like 6 or 7 kilos, not a lot of weight, yeah? And the main thing is, I'm not trying to show you all the exercises, because we all know them. You know, we all can pick up a weight and punch with it, but if I demonstrate again, just a simple principle to add into your training. You want fast strike, fast twitch, not too fast, don't pull your shoulder off. But like I said, if you want your standing horse stance, we want fast twitch, where we're pushing it out from the lats and here, everything's in. Yeah, so that's a normal front punch. Yeah. Squeeze that bar. So you want fast twitch and straight punches too. Another side. An uppercut slightly. Yeah, whew. And that's from, gather the breath, that's from basically horse stance, but then obviously you can move it into like your normal stance. And the cool thing is say you do like a front guarded posture, then you can feel, it's really nice, how you can work this strike off the back of the tricep, the lat. It's all locked in sideways. Yeah? So. And of course, don't forget you're keeping that square on the floor, that hourglass, bow arrow posture almost, yeah? Locked in. Yeah. Another way. Yeah. So that's what I was saying before. that's what I like about the weighted punch training, is that it makes you lock everything in. So stretch everything out now. Yeah, give yourself a stretch out. So I don't know if anyone's been following for the last 20 minutes. We've done quite a lot of straight punches, which I actually do like this, and I do them about here, because that's actually the real way that they're done. And I was just talking about how when we're practicing stone lock, I still like to keep my punches exactly how I would do them. Yeah, so I was trying to explain that at the beginning, because it's obviously advised you do them real traditional style, whatever. If you can call it traditional, because it's actually more modern, but do them like that, and that allows for realism, the linkage that you get. Yeah, so you do them horse stance, sideways punch, uppercut style, whatever type of punches you want to do. If you want to do crazy round punches as well to work your shoulder, you do whatever punches you want to do, it's up to you. I'm not going to stop you doing or not doing anything. And then we do them fast, we do them slow, it's for the time under tension. That way we're training our long twitch and our short twitch, fast twitch and short twist muscle fibers. I don't have to, otherwise I'd use two, yeah? Now you guys might be wondering, for anyone who's still watching or listening, so that's some awesome punching. Here we had a good lot of punching there. But you might be wondering, well, how come I'm not seeing this movement? This traditional guard movement, yeah? This block. Yeah. So if you train this block, you can do it too. Yeah, you train it however you want. Yeah. I'm not doing it because I don't do that block. Yeah. I don't do it. I just don't do it. Alright? So for me that's an attack. It's a strike. So, but I can go on all day about that. But yeah, I don't necessarily make this movement. So I don't train this movement, and I don't want to train my body to make this movement because it's not a movement I make. I would do a bind and a parry, but that's something else. But if I ever do this movement, for me, it's going to be an attack, which either way around it is. But that's a different thing. But yeah, by all means, you can train that upwards motion of that guard and that block. And to some extent, when you're doing your active recovery and you're training your shoulders on the outside, you're also training that. Yeah, you're training this guarding movement. Yeah, yeah. So you train that how you want. Alrighty. Yeah, so, well guys, there we go. We've done some good. I was worried I wouldn't get any extra training in today, but we've done some good strike training in there. And again, with the fat grips, if you can get them, they're pretty useful. Get the fat grips. Yeah, and once again, I'm not too out of breath. It's all right, as I've been going for like 20 minutes. But also, the benefits of the weighted training are, by all means, chuck any questions down below. But the benefits of the weighted training are it teaches you to lock everything in, yeah? And that's why I was stressing, I like to practice it like linked. So I don't like to isolate and just use my arm. I like to use the whole body, but I'm sure everyone does that. You see it in traditional like Hojo Undo training. But I'm just saying for anyone who isn't aware of it or whatever, you know, don't practice it with like a Western weightlifting mentality. Practice it with like a linked, a cheat mentality, yeah? Use all your body, yeah? That's why you have to choose a weight that's not too heavy, because you don't want to like, because when you put your body into something, it adds extra momentum onto the weight. Speed will add more momentum onto the weight. So just focus on that and controlling the weight, yeah? Watch out for circular movements, because we know that circular motions, our muscles a lot of the times don't like them when they've got weight on, yeah, because it's a complicated motion that uses an array of muscles. So watch out for circular motions with the weights, yeah. And that's pretty much that on that, guys. Sorry if you've only just joined into the stone lock gripping punching video. We've been going for 20 odd minutes or 29 minutes, and yeah, I think I've just about stone lock punched myself out, to be honest, guys. But there we go. It's also a testament to training as well. I use the steel staff because naturally, if someone didn't train these things, then or if they didn't at least try them, then they couldn't come here and do them for like 20 minutes. Like the pretendness would be gone after about 5 minutes, yeah. And the game would just be given away, and everyone would be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't even do those." So what I'm saying is, no matter how crap you are when you're doing them, train it for a lot of fast twitch. If you just join in, train them fast, train them slow, do your guarding motions, do whatever parrying motions you like to do. Make sure you breathe, get some fat grips if you can, because they're cool. If you got some stone locks, that's even awesome. One more thing I will show with an actual, if you stand by with an actual kettlebell, you can use kettlebells. So the cool thing about a kettlebell is that you've got this motion here. Yeah. So like a stone lock, you can bring the kettlebell onto your arm, and then you can practice a strike out. Yeah. But I'm just showing an example with this kettlebell because this is what is it? Where's the mic? Here's a 16 kilo kettlebell, so I wouldn't want to be doing this all day with that, but that's just an example. So if you don't have, say, one of these to do your striking with a fat grip or whatever, if you don't have a stone lock, use an 8 kilo or 6 to 8 kilo, 5 kilo kettlebell, and that's the same thing. Those are really awesome too, and you can really get those. The main move I like with kettlebells is, like I said, it's the way you can lock the weight onto the shoulder here, and then strike out and lock it down. Yeah. It's been a while since I've had 2 kettlebells that I would be able to do it with, but yeah. So that's an example of how you could do it with a kettlebell, which is cool. One thing I like to do with kettlebells as well, if they're light enough for you, is you hold them like parallel like this, and you strike. Yeah, so obviously you need a lighter one, but you know, that way you're using the force in a different way. And obviously, if you are punching with a stone lock or a kettlebell, it does actually hang like this. Yeah, so it hangs down, and so it's cool because it's a weight you can't, unfortunately, that kind of weight hanging here, it pulls down. It pulls just down on the muscles in a different way. If you've ever tried it, and it swings a bit, so it really gets that linkage really nicely with these underside muscles under here into here. It really does get the linkage cool. It gets the linkage just better than, it's just a little bit better than you can with these. And that's why before, no one's listening anymore, but because it's been going on for so long, but that's why before, when I was demonstrating this, I was kind of saying that I like to lock everything in. Yeah, because I like to try and mimic that linkage. Yeah, that linkage of the strikes. Yeah. Anyway, okay, guys. Well, I think I've sweated up my floor quite a lot. Yeah, I've sweated up my floor quite a lot. And once again, oh look, I've got 2 horns. Once again, I'm only putting this on here just to show the training. Yeah, I'm not trying to show how my way's better than everyone else, because it's pretty shitty. But I'm just trying to, like with the guys on Patreon, we're just trying to inspire each other to train. We're trying to do an array of different techniques and not just focus on one thing. We're trying to focus on perhaps things that aren't in your martial arts. So if you do kung fu or whatever, or like people from Okinawan styles, I'm practicing the whole styles now. People from Okinawan styles are really familiar with using weights and kettlebells for these Hojo Undo exercises. But there's a lot of people on Kung Fu who you know, don't practice stone locks, don't do it or whatever, or other martial arts, and it's really beneficial. Yeah, you know, I know a lot of people use the weighted wrist weights. Yeah, you know, the ones you wrap. Yeah, so but it's just a different dynamic of actually holding something. And like I said, the added thing of the fat grips, they're pretty cool. Because you've got that fatter grip, yeah, and it gives you that just something to feed back on a bit better than a short grip. So if you don't have a fat grip, shit, man, just get an old phone book, tear it in half if you want to, bloody tear it in half or cut it in half, wrap it around the weight and just freaking tape it up. Where's my phone book gone? Yeah. Oh well. Look, we've got a small one here. This is pretty small. But yeah, like, you know, if you don't have a fat grip, there's your old phone book. If you're gonna tear it in half, do it better than that. But get him. You know me, I always like my cheap home training stuff. Yeah, look at that, man. Get it, wrap it round. Get some duct tape on there or normal parcel tape. Doesn't matter if it's a little shitty or a little uneven. Yeah, and actually that's really nice to grip. Yeah, that's really nice to grip as well. So yeah, you don't always have to buy expensive things, man. You can use phone books. Use what you've got. Use your ingenuity. James. Hey, James. Yeah, we've just been doing, I don't know if you're watching or not, but we've just been doing like 20 something minutes of stone lock striking. Nothing amazing, just no secrets, just front strike, sideways, and an uppercut style strike. We're not trying to make them too stylized. We're not trying to do anything other than what the meaning of the thing is just to develop the muscles, just to develop the linkage, yeah. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys saw them, but there was a video recently on YouTube about this. It's something we all do, but it was a channel. I can't remember what channel it is, but it's about how when you pull your chest in, it's got a name in Chinese, but it's like chest in, back up, and it's a way to lock down and link. It's like lock and link your body. It's got a name in Chinese. I can't remember the name. But interestingly enough, there was a video about it on YouTube before, and I commented on it because, you know, I'm only mentioning it because I commented on it, because it's a really good reminder of a principle that we all do that maybe we don't realize, and that iron wire or particular breathing, yeah, like the iron wire breathing, forces you to do. Yeah, which is exactly that, locking your core down, raising your back up, and that's cool because that's exactly what you're doing with these weights as well. Yeah, when you're using them, you've got to lock your core, raise your back, yeah, to get the linkage. Yeah, yeah. And once again, quick demo, but like I was saying before, you want to do it slow, yeah, slow. With good form, then fast, with linkage, yeah, that's fast, yeah, without destroying yourself, yeah, yeah, so you want to do it all different ways, yeah, cool, anyway, I'm slipping on the floor now, so yeah. Okay guys, well, I think that's me gone now. Hopefully some of the guys from Patreon managed to catch some of this. I'll pop it on patreon.com/IBMA. The Patreon guys will be able to see it. Oh, how many kilos? Oh yeah, well this is light, man. This is only like the lighter the better actually. There's no need to, well, for instance, look, I mean, this is documented on video. I've been punching with this thing for like, at least, well, it was 25 minutes straight before. So it's, sorry, I don't know pounds, but it's 2.5 kilos each, yeah? So that only makes 5 kilos. And then this bar, which is maybe which maybe puts it to 6.5 or 7 kilos. So it's not a lot of weight. Bilal, how hard do you reckon your bones are? Well, obviously I do like a lot of iron body training and kung fu and specific bone hardening training. So my bones are all right. They're pretty dense. I injured my foot once and got a scan 2 years ago of my ankle, and yeah, they said my bones were pretty dense. They were very white on the X-ray, but apparently a lot of that is due to your genetics. So who knows? It could just be because of that. But yeah, for instance, use things like twin locks. If you're here, yeah, and that's training the that's an old Shaolin method from the 72 secret arts of the Shaolin for training these bones, yeah, for striking, yeah. So it's really cool. Straw cutters, it's called, or twin locks, yeah. And you just tap them. And if you try it now, if you don't know it, if you try to do that yourself, and you've never done it before, like even you just touch your arms together. It's the bones, by the way, not the muscle. If you just touch it together, most people, it's already too painful, yeah? Because there's a lock there too, you know, there's a lock. You grab someone there and you force weight on the bottom. It's a lock, it's a pain, it's a pressure point. But of course, in line, I suppose, with traditional kung fu and okinawan karate and stuff, this bone here becomes a weapon, yeah? You train it. But you train it so easily. Every day you just chop like this. Someone grabs you, someone messes with you, someone comes at you, boom. Yeah, you can use this. And that comes back to the point I was saying before, where I was like, I'm not training this motion because I don't do this motion. For me, this motion is an attack. It's just an attack, boom. Yeah? So it'll be attack to the face and attack to the neck. Yeah? Obviously, nowadays this has been interpreted as a block and everyone does it as a big block. But yeah, if you're in punching range, I'm not going to start playing around with trying to block people's arms. I'm just going to be in, and this bone's going to be hitting them at the side of the face, in the neck, you know, whatever. And if that's not hitting them, the side of my hand's going to be, yeah. Even if it's this way or this way, it's the same, yeah. It's going to be like that, yeah. So I digress there, but that's that point there. Jeez, I'll sweat it up all the floor. Cool, James. Sorry, what's that, James? You use what's that? Use some 20 kilo weights to run with. Sorry, man. The comments only come on here so quickly. I'm old school. Using actual block weights to work. Oh, awesome. Yeah, well, mate, this kind of training's designed. Yes, I have heard of Pak Mei. There's a real good Pak Mei guy in Australia here, actually. He's not in my area, but yeah, Pak Mei is awesome. There's also a French guy who's online, I think, with his Pak Mei. Now, Pak Mei is really cool. It seems to be a really solid form of kung fu, you know. I've never seen, put it this way, I've never seen any bad Pak Mei stuff, you know. I've never seen any Pak Mei that looks like weak, you know. Like I've seen like, apologies, but you guys might or might not agree with me. I've seen like Lao Gar Kung Fu, kickboxing, which I've seen that and I've been like disappointed. But I haven't seen bad Pak Mei. So yeah, anyway, James Campbell, yeah, those, obviously this sort of training is designed to be used with, you know, you can hold bricks, you can hold, yeah, blocks, you can hold whatever you want, you know, so it's just a case of having that weight in your hand. Yeah, you guys know. Well, I don't know of any Pak Mei places in England, maybe the guys can help you out. I know if you go on like Iron Body Martial Arts on Facebook, There's quite a lot of guys on there if you post up on there. But yeah, I'm sure you can find something, but a lot of the stuff's hard to find though. It's hard to find. That's part of the reason I made this channel, is because like I made it to sort of help people like me who at the time, like in the middle of nowhere, have the ability to, you know, maybe have a martial arts ability, a martial arts background, so they have the ability to train themselves and not train themselves in a stupid way, you know, and you know, and by a stupid way, I mean like, just, I don't know, some people, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but some people just can't, like they train themselves in the wrong way. They just, some people aren't intuitive when it comes to training themselves or practicing something. But I don't know, I'm trailing off, but what I mean is I made this channel so that so James, damaged your legs. Yeah, well that's a problem, isn't it? Knees, legs. Yeah, I mean, I myself, I've got like this, it's the first time it's ever happened to me, but I've got this like heel, you know, my heel, even though I'm doing the stretches, it's from my work boots, but my heel's starting to give me trouble, you know, this plantar fasciitis or whatever, you know, that plantar strain or whatever. But I'm working on it, I'm stretching it out, I'm rolling it, so it's all good. But I get what you mean. Obviously that's nothing compared to like damaging your legs in the military, but yeah, it's a pain in the ass when you get injuries. What form of Kung Fu I'm practicing? It's elements of, well, I'd say elements of like Hung Gar and Shaolin Kung Fu, and basically anything in Kung Fu that interests me. My old instructor, as I always used to say, who I used to train Bujinkan with, ninjutsu, which is why I'm interested in the Japanese Budo side. But I was always interested in Shaolin Kung Fu, but I'm interested in the conditioning and training practices, as well as some of the older forms like Shaohongquan and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the modern Wushu stuff, it's awesome, and I take my hat off to anyone who learns it, who can do it, but it's not my path of joy, you know. I don't know what you'd call it, but I'm interested in like trying to go down the real Budo or fighting martial arts or whatever. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. So anyway, I made this channel to try and share my conditioning and trainings over the years, and not necessarily to say they're right or wrong or whatever. But that's that. Ooh, you know what that means? That means my chicken's ready in the oven. So yeah, guys. Sean, Simon, thanks for tuning in, Sean. Unfortunately, you just missed most of it, but it's not your fault. It's my dodgy times. Yeah, tendon damage is a nightmare. That's why I try to do a lot of tendon washing and stuff like that to try and help it out in the legs. There's a few routines. I might put some up actually, mate. It might help you. There's a few tendon washing routines that I found that help with the legs, especially me. We're talking about leg problems, but I've got my legs are a bit bowed. It's just my genetics, unfortunately, and they also, my heels go in, but I don't have a flat arch, but my heels go in ever so slightly, so that makes me predisposed to like back and ankle injuries and which is a pain in the ass. And also predisposed to spinal alignment issues, which I've had to deal with over the years. So I'll try and maybe put up a few videos on that. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks to the Patreon guys, patreon.com/IBMA, who are like training along with me and following a bit of a syllabus. And once again, that's only to like motivate everyone and train everyone. They support like some of the vids and stuff, and I give them extra information and we chat, and we've got an online chat group, and it's cool because it's closed off, so you don't get, you know, you just don't have to deal with people who are not interested, you know, which you know, like I said, you know, we're trying to have fun, but we're trying to do a serious study of martial arts. We're doing things like Iron Palm and that you know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and you know, a lot of the MMA crowd come along and they just don't understand why you would do that. But I'm a big fan of MMA, by the way. But I would say a lot of the ignorant MMA crowd, but anyone who's actually a better fighter would know that any form of conditioning and toughening training is only of benefit to you. It's only the ones who are scared, and then they get scared of it because they don't do it, and they worry about it, so they end up flaming everyone else who doesn't do it, etc., etc. You know, we get a lot of that in the real sort of hardcore, well, not hardcore, but in the old school kung fu community. You get a lot of that from like modern day people. But I don't know why I say modern day people, because I'm as modern day as the rest of them. You know, I'm training all different kinds of things, you know. I think that's the biggest misconception of this channel of mine, just before I go, is that, you know, people come along and they, you know, see you doing a specific iron palm training video, and they think that that's like the only way you can physically move because you're a dumb iron palm person, and, you know, you go around like chopping like this, you know. Whereas really you can bloody throw hooks and jabs and hits like, you know, like everyone can. So, I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling now, guys. I'll catch you around. Have a good one. You can catch me on Patreon. You can catch me on here. Go along to IBMA on Facebook if you want. It's been around for ages. I've been around for like 6 years on here, just training. It's all about training. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Have a good one. Give some of those ideas a go. Now I'm going to try and get off this thing.